Hello and welcome to Top Select 10. Saddle up for an epic journey into the Wild West with our countdown of the top 10 best Western movies on Netflix. Whether you're a fan of classic shootouts, rugged cowboys, or sweeping landscapes, this video has everything you need for a perfect Western movie night. We've rounded up the finest Western films currently streaming on Netflix, featuring a mix of timeless classics and modern takes on the genre. From tales of revenge and redemption to gripping standoffs and legendary heroes, these movies capture the essence of the Old West and deliver unforgettable cinematic experiences. Join us as we explore each film, highlighting what makes them a must-watch for any Western enthusiast. Our selection includes critically acclaimed masterpieces, hidden gems, and fan-favorite flicks that are sure to transport you back to a time of lawmen, outlaws, and frontier justice. So grab your cowboy hat, settle in, and get ready to discover the best Western movies Netflix has to offer. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more top 10 lists and movie recommendations. Number 10. Sonora, The Devil's Highway. Ostensibly a Western, or just a disparate group facing danger, who will survive? Movie Sonora is both a look at some forgotten Mexican history and a commentary on asylum and migration. The usual scenario, people thrown together by chance facing danger, does rely on some of the darker parts of Mexican history. It also brings to mind the disparate and desperate reasons for making dangerous trips through the desert. The Wongs flee racial prejudice, Doña Rosario and Pilar seek family reunification, the Camarillo flees the law, etc. Smugglers, racists, the elements, all complications, sometimes deadly, faced by those having to leave their homes today. What makes it particularly worth watching is that the only member of the expedition, the guide, Emeterio, is also a displaced person. When introduced, he is a deracinated Indian, but emerges as a leader when he returns to his own cultural traditions. Number 9. The Furnace. Set in the Western Australian outback during the gold rushes of the 1890s. To escape a harsh existence and return to his home country, a young Afghan cavalier falls in with a mysterious bushman on the run with stolen crown gold. The film illuminates the forgotten history of Australia's Gan cavaliers, comprised mostly of Muslim and Sikh men from India, Afghanistan and Persia, who traversed the nation's vast desert interior and formed unique bonds with local Aboriginal people. The Furnace is unique to me in that the story was well written and balanced. The acting was great, as was the casting and production. However, despite my appreciation for the film's heart, I found it entirely boring. Number 8. Blood and Gold. Set in the spring of 1945, just before the end of World War II, Elsa and Heinrich quickly realize that they have more in common than their common enemy. Both fight for justice against the Nazis and for their families. Heinrich is looking for his daughter, but in Elsa's remote village, a Jewish treasure of gold is hidden that the Nazis want to plunder. An action-packed search for the treasure begins, villagers against the SS. The greed for the gold brings secrets to light and ends in a bloody showdown in the village church. It is an action-packed German film set in the chaotic backdrop of post-war Nazi Germany. It shares a similar style to the film Inglourious Basterds, but on a smaller scale. Created by German filmmakers, it is incredibly entertaining and engaging. Number 7. The Harder They Fall. When outlaw Nat Love discovers that his enemy Rufus Buck is being released from prison, he rounds up his gang to track Rufus down and seek revenge. Those riding with him in this assured, righteously new school western include his former love stagecoach Mary, his right and left-hand men hot-tempered Bill Pickett and fast-drawing Jim Beckworth, and a surprising adversary turned ally. Rufus Buck has his own fearsome crew, including treacherous Trudy Smith and Cherokee Bill, and they are not a group that knows how to lose. Great casting and performances. Excellent sets, landscapes, costumes, shots and cinematography. But the 139 minutes runtime dragged on forever with a not as big plot, slow pacing and dragged out and unnecessary scenes. Number 6. The Highwayman. This story is told from the other perspective that we are used to see. Two aged, recommissioned Texas Rangers take on Bonnie and Clyde and hunt them in the end, using same tactics that B and C used to kill lawmen. The tempo is slow at the beginning and builds up gradually until the climax. The sedate style of storytelling is intentional to give it a more realistic feel. The director, Mr. Hancock, achieves that masterfully. Set design is excellent. Camera work follows the happenings from the perspective of Pancho and Manny, and you get a clear idea of what they are facing while dealing with such criminals. There are some intense moments that will keep you on the edges of your seats. Finally, the acting. Superb. A plus straight away. The screen chemistry of Costner and Harrelson works like magic, and their banter won't let you feel that you are actually watching a hunting party involving some deep criminals. The last scene is simply impeccable. Number 5. Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk is a 2015 Western horror written and directed by Craig Zoller and starring Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, and Richard Jenkins. After an outlaw unknowingly leads a band of cannibalistic troglodytes into the peaceful western town of Bright Hope, the monsters kidnap several settlers, including the wife of a local rancher. Despite his injured leg, the rancher joins a small rescue party with the sheriff, his aging deputy, and a strong-willed gunslinger. What follows is a journey into hell on earth, as the posse comes to realize it is up against a foe whose savagery knows no bounds. The film takes place at the turn of the century around the border of what is now Texas and New Mexico. Number 4. The Good, the Bad, the Weird. A Guksu Western. 3 Korean gunslingers are in Manchuria circa World War II. Do-Wan, an upright bounty hunter, Chang-yi, a thin-skinned and ruthless killer, and Taegu, a train robber with 9 lives. Taegu finds a map he's convinced leads to buried treasure. Chang-yi wants it as well for less clear reasons. Do-Wan tracks the map, knowing it will bring him to Chang-yi, Taegu, and reward money. Occupying Japanese forces and their Manchurian collaborators also want the map, as does the Ghost Market gang who hangs out at a thieves' bazaar. These enemies cross paths frequently and dead bodies pile up. Number 3. Mudbound. In the aftermath of World War II, somewhere in the muddy Mississippi Delta, 2 families, one black, the Jacksons, and the other white, the McCallans, are forced to share the same patch of land, keeping a frail race-based peace with each other. However, as they both struggle with hardship and dire poverty, the long-awaited return of 2 war veterans, Ronsel, the Jacksons' eldest son, and Jamie, Henry McCallan's younger brother, will unexpectedly nurture a budding friendship that transcends prejudice and race. But in the end, against a backdrop of fevered Mississippi sunsets and vitriolic racism, life can be hard when the law of the land is still segregation and hatred. And then no one can be safe. Number 2. Hell or High Water. Following the death of their mother after an illness, adult brothers Tanner and Toby Howard, both penniless, begin a spree of masked bank holdups in small towns in West Texas, Toby having no real experience in such. They only won a few $1,000s in each holdup, and only hit virtually empty Texas Midlands bank branches where there are fewer things that can go wrong. Their end goal is to pay off the $40,000 reverse mortgage loan taken out on the family ranch, the bank which will foreclose in a few weeks if payment is not made in full. Toby wants to leave the ranch to his 2 sons to be held in trust for their financial security, they who he never sees following the divorce from his wife. Tanner and Toby believe it is poetic justice that they plan to achieve their goal by paying Texas Midlands, which holds the loan, with their own money. Although they have the same goal, the brothers having different temperaments may pose problems for them. Tanner, an ex-con, who is tempestuous and impetuous, while Toby is more introspective. Meanwhile, Texas Ranger Marcus Hamilton and his second-in-command Alberto Parker are investigating the holdups. Hamilton, who is close to retirement and who takes great pleasure in needling Parker for his part native Indian heritage, may have his own motives in how he decides to proceed in what may very well be his last case. Hamilton's actions often much to Parker's exasperation. Number 1. The Hateful Eight. Amidst a fierce snowstorm, Obi, the carriage driver, tries to hurry to a safe place for himself, his horses, and his passengers. John Ruth, a bounty hunter known for delivering wanted criminals alive for hanging, and his prisoner Daisy, sentenced to death in the town of Red Rock. Along the way, they encounter Marquis Warren with 3 frozen bodies stacked together. He aims to take them to Red Rock as well, to claim the reward, as he is also a bounty hunter. After a brief negotiation with John Ruth, they all agree to share the journey, ensuring each party's interest. Another stray, Chris Mannix, affected by the storm, crosses their path. He reveals himself as the appointed sheriff also headed to Red Rock. After some back and forth, he's allowed to join the carriage, and they head towards the nearest safe haven before the storm worsens. This safe place turns out to be Minnie's haberdashery, known to Marquis Warren, but upon arrival, they discover other inhabitants filled with suspicion and distrust. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, like and share the video. Thank you.